My boyfriend's son warned me about him. Now I'm doubting our relationship.
Should have probably listened to your boyfriend's son.
Me, 27 female, with my boyfriend, 50 male of 3 months. His kid warned me about him. I've been dating Jesse for about 3 months. It's been a bit of a whirlwind romance. Jesse is the kind of guy I've always wanted. Confident and smart and makes me feel like a princess. The spicy sleep is great and I feel like we have a deep connection.
I bet you do.
By the way, this comes from AirPass, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley, the guy.
He's about to crash out. Look at him. He's red already. And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. OP says, last Friday, Jesse and I went out and ran into his son, Julian, 19. Julian shouldn't have been there as he is underage, so I assume he had a fake ID. Jesse was excited to see him, but Julian seemed like he didn't want to see Jesse at all. It was very awkward. Later, while Jesse was talking to someone he knew from work, Julian approached me. He told me he'll get tired of you. He won't care about you anymore and just see you as something he has to spend money on. Then he'll find something new. He always does. He said he was sorry and then left the bar. I didn't know how to respond, so I talked to Jesse. He told me how his ex-wife and stepdaughters had poisoned Julian against him. I've always known Jesse to be very generous, so I don't believe the money part is true. But I do know that Jesse hardly ever spends time with his son, which is like a little bit of a red flag.
That is, yeah.
He says Julian won't answer his calls or texts and avoids him. Jesse also works a significant amount and finds it difficult to balance his time. How do I know if this is a red flag or not? This kid could have just had a warped perception of his father. But I can't help but feel badly for Julian. He seemed really sad at that bar. And Common One says Julian's mother, the said ex-wife, it would be pretty messed up to me if a biological child chose his stepmother and stepsisters over his father, and that would be a serious red flag to me. OP says she is the mother. His sisters are half siblings. Comment 2 says, I'm always surprised at just how biased this subreddit is against relationships with age gaps. It's not like you're 18 and he's preying on your inexperience. You're a grown woman. There's nothing inherently wrong with the age gap in your relationship. Anyway, never let someone else into your relationship. This kid clearly has an agenda, and he probably doesn't have your best interests at heart. This is supported by the fact that Jesse's excitement to see his son only went one way. There's bitterness there, and it's not coming from Jesse. Keep Julian's words in mind in case you see any other red flags, like how did Jesse's previous relationships go?
Yeah.
But don't let those words supersede your gut feeling about the relationship. What are your thoughts on this?
If, let's say, Keon and I started dating.
Yes.
Huh?
And his sister came up to me and said, hey, you're just a peach right now. And once he gets his fill, he's going to go
Ew.
find another peach.
I hate that.
I would probably be like, Keon,
Yeah.
what does she mean by this? What's going on?
Yeah, I hated how
Who are
you
you gonna
said
choose,
that.
me or her? Huh? Who are you gonna believe?
I'm just asking questions.
I hated how you said that, but I do agree. I think you should go to your partner, who seemingly you have a good relationship with, and have a conversation with him about it and see what his relationship with his son is like, his relationship with his ex is like.
And I know that those words that Julian said, it's
to sow discord, whether or not he is,
yeah, but
right
it's like,
in it.
do I let it be water over a rock, or do I take it in and
Yeah.
let it? Because I feel like these words are gonna haunt OP,
Absolutely.
and then something's gonna happen. It's gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, he was right.
Yeah.
That's a vibe I get here. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
little mysterious warning.
Yeah, I agree. OP says, I'm not worried about the age difference, a little surprised by the responses toward it. Them running into each other was weird. Jesse was excited, but he didn't ask why Julian was drinking underage at the bar. It didn't seem to bother him. Julian drove afterwards as well, and he didn't seem wasted, but I was surprised Jesse didn't say anything. He also didn't seem to notice that Julian seemed awkward running into us. Until I mentioned what Julian told me, he didn't seem to have any idea that the encounter was so awkward. I just feel like it could go either way so easily. Julian doesn't seem like a bad kid, but Jesse doesn't seem like a bad guy either. Does it have to be one or the other? Comment 3 says he's 50 years old and chasing after a 27-year-old. Listen to his son. Someone that feels too good to be true usually is. Comment 4, you are 27. He is 50. He's with you because you're significantly younger and have a better body and higher spicy sleep drive than women in his own age.
That is the craziest assumption.
That's crazy.
I've ever
That is
heard.
actually crazy.
You know how many
Whoa.
MILFs have a high.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I don't like that comment.
Drive.
Open
Why?
your eyes. If Julian was 12, then maybe don't believe him, but he's 19. Had his mom poison him against Jesse, then Julian would have come to the realization by now that his mom was lying. And there is an update 3 months later, but any thoughts?
my prediction?
Yes.
I think they're going to break up in this update.
Yeah.
I think what Julian said was true, and it's going to come out in a different way. I think OP should have done what you said.
Mhm.
Talk to him, try to figure it out.
I hope that she does.
I just don't think
Yeah.
the emotional intelligence. I haven't heard anything about his emotional intelligence, so I'm a little.
Yeah. Little curious about that. Thanks for all the advice, even though it was tough to hear. I ended up deciding to move forward with the relationship, but keep an eye out for any other red flags. To backtrack, early in our relationship, I got a text from a friend of mine that he had seen Jesse at the local spicy club.
Uh-oh.
I spoke to Jesse about it, and he said he did not consider it cheating because he did not get lap dances or touch the dancers.
I went on a date with her, but we didn't kiss or go home together. We just
So
went
it's
on a
fine.
date.
I'm sorry. Okay. So now she's confirming that he already had some trouble in the beginning of the relationship. So yeah, now I have less faith in this relationship.
Same.
I let him know that I would let it slide, but in the future, I'm not okay with him going to spicy clubs without talking to me about it first. He agreed, but I kept noticing he would be out working late. He told me he had an emergency flood and had to work late, and I ended up seeing him at a gas station that I was driving by. I stopped and talked to him, and he said he had just gotten off work, but he smelled like cigarettes and booze, and his clothes weren't dirty like they typically are when he works flood damages. I also noticed he was very protective of his work phone. He leaves his other cell phone out all the time, but once I asked to use his work phone to look something up, and he basically told me no, and to get my phone charging in the other room.
Dude's cheating.
Yeah, that's weird. It all just built up, so I snooped. I got up in the middle of the night when I was staying at his place and looked through both phones. On his work phones, I found texts to escorts and spicy dancers. Hooey. On his other call, I found a ton of texts to his ex-wife, who he promised me he didn't talk to anymore unless it was about Julian. Liar.
They'd be talking about Julian a lot.
Yeah. You know what? Props to Julian for letting you know. Good son.
Yep, I knew it.
Apparently, she just started dating again a month ago, and he absolutely shredded her for it. He said some very cruel things like, "You must have found a guy who loves fat butts if he'll be seen with you." Suck, dude.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I was about to say.
What he said?
No.
He just insulted her. Are you talking to him? I'm
I was
confused.
just saying, like, that was a weak insult. Like,
Oh, yeah, I know. That's
like,
what I'm saying.
You just, like,
Oh, I thought you were saying
you
what's
just
wrong
like
with that to
girls
me?
with fat butts. Okay.
Yeah. She never replied as far as I can tell. Looking at those texts, I knew that any future with Jesse was going to end like this. I also saw that he never messages Julian. What's worse, their text feed is Julian reaching out every couple months and getting ignored. Ugh, that's so sad. One text from a few months ago was Julian telling him that his band had a gig and asking if he would come. I remember that weekend. Me and Jesse stayed in that night and had a bunch of spicy sleep. He never even mentioned his son at a show. I felt sick. I went online and bought 10 copies of his band's EP a few days later. Oh, OP feels so bad. She's like, I have to support his son now.
He's a bad dad.
Oh, man. In the end, I decided to just ghost him. He obviously had no respect for our relationship, and I felt I didn't know him anything. When he was at work, I got all my things out of his apartment and left a note. I just wrote that his family was right about him and to not contact me again. He texted me later that he had an emergency and had to work late.
Oh, I bet. At the strip.
Ooh, he obviously hadn't seen my note, and I just didn't respond. The next day, he found the note and started messaging me about it. I decided to take a page from his ex-wife's book and ignore him. As the week moved on and he realized I was serious, the messages started getting hateful. Things I don't care to repeat. I blocked his number then. And by the way, don't block us. Listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Honestly, OP did the right move. Listen to Julian. He knows what's up. He's a good kid. He doesn't spread lies. So I think you did the right thing, OP. Always listen to the kid. I feel like it was just like a little angel being like, fear him.
I enjoy those.
Yeah.
Me too. It was a great story. What do you think, Keon?
What do you
Good
think?
for you, OP.
Yeah, good for you. Get out of that relationship.
If someone warns you about a relationship,
Probably, good
Maybe.
to look into that.
They went out of their way.
yeah.
They didn't
You didn't have to.
They went out of their way. There wasn't a spiteful energy to get you to date them or like
Yeah.
Like if Julian was trying to get in your pants, then to be like, you.
Weird.
But like it was purely a good intention of warning,
Yeah.
which I think we all need to listen to.
But there is a little left. It's disturbing for me to think about what a cruel and vicious person he ended up being. If Julian hadn't talked to me at the bar, how much longer would it have taken me to see this side of him? I also have this weird guilty feeling that I'm a homewrecker, even though Jesse obviously wrecked his home himself. I really thought of me and Jesse as having a potential for a long-term relationship. It hurts to have those hopes crushed. I'm not getting any younger. I got a lot of comments last post about the age gap. I'm not really interested in that. I know several couples with significant age gaps. I'm a grown woman, not a teenager, and I can choose to date someone older. Hopefully it won't be an a-hole next time. And comment once is good on you for getting out. Think about dropping a note to Julian so you can thank him for the warning. The kid might feel better for knowing that his warning helped someone for once. Besides, it can be validating when dealing with a harmful a-hole to have someone else go, yeah, he's a knucklehead all right. And you were right. OP says, I did consider it, but I feel like I'm probably the last person he wants to hear from. And that is the end of the story, folks.
My girlfriend ruined my favorite sweater because she thinks my ex is hotter.
If you want to destroy my sweater, pull this thread as I walk away.
My 28 male really loved this sweater. It was smart casual with a striped pattern from a fancy Italian brand. I could wear it to work as well as for an evening out. And I really liked how I looked in it. I'm really pissed to lose it.
It's from a fancy Italian brand.
Exactly.
Ferrari.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Argyle, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, so we're just going to guess what we would do in these situations, but we don't have all the answers, so let us know what you would do in the comments below. OP says, background on the relationship. My girlfriend is Hannah, 27 female. We met because we live on the same street and used to have our pre-work morning coffee at the same cafe. Our coffee meetups slowly turned into dates, and we've officially been a couple for about 6 months. I like her. She's sweet and smart and pretty. But we are taking it slow since both of us are coming off of terrible breakups. She broke up with her fella of 10 years. Wow.
A 10-year fella.
Yeah. Their relationship ended in a hail of fights and petty behavior, which tore apart their friends and pissed off their families. The reasons were never clear to me. All Hannah said was that all of their relationship problems came up at the same time and everything unraveled. My breakup was kind of different. Haley, also 27 female, and I never really officially dated, but we had been friends for a very long time. We slept together once when we were both between relationships, but we were sure that we worked better as friends. 2 years back, Haley broke up from a bad relationship and we got into a semi-official friends with benefits situation. We would still hang out and talk as friends, but once in a while, we'd also have some form of physical intimacy. Both of us also got really busy with our careers, so we never really had other romantic relationships. Around Christmas 2015, Haley brought up our relationship and told me that she was falling for me as more than a friend and wanted to explore a relationship with me. I didn't. So I had my own reasons, mainly that we had some fundamentally mismatched views on life that would make a relationship really hard. We worked really well as friends, and she was really important to my life, and I didn't want to jeopardize that by getting into a relationship. Well, I still lost that friendship. She essentially went no contact, and no matter how much I hated it, I couldn't really say much since it was a reasonable thing for her to do for her own sake. But it really hurt. Losing her as a friend hurt way more than a breakup I've ever had, and it took me a while to find my footing. Hannah knew the basic details about my and Haley's relationship and wasn't too curious about it. She also knew that I had a few things that Haley had given me but never raised an issue about it, especially since she had a bunch of gifts from her ex as well. This Christmas, I accompanied Hannah to her office Christmas party. To my surprise, Haley was also there.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
What? Turns out she started working there recently at a different department from Hannah's. We exchanged pleasantries and tried some small talk, but it was awkward and lasted maybe 3 minutes, most of which was silence. Then Haley left early and I didn't see her again. While I talked to Haley, Hannah was somewhere else, and when she came back, I told her about it. She had never met her before, big company, but her curiosity was piqued. In any case, I got into a jovial party mood and everything went back to normal. Until last Friday. When I was at work, I got a flurry of texts from Hannah basically saying that she finally met Haley. Now, you should know that Haley is really attractive. Like, modeling offers since she was 16 attractive, plus her job also means that she's always dressed to unalive, event manager for high-end corporate parties. Okay, interesting. Well, seeing Haley did a number on Hannah. She didn't come out and say it, but she suddenly got extremely curious about Haley as well as our relationship, with a lot of questions about everything. She even specifically mentioned the sweater, saying, "No wonder you love that sweater so much." That's no good. That's no good. I tried my best to assuage her insecurities. I told her that there was absolutely nothing between Haley and me. We haven't even talked to each other in more than a year, except for 3 awkward minutes during that party. I also told her that I really liked her and could see our relationship going pretty far. But I was also low-key annoyed with the whole conversation. Anyways, Hannah slept over Saturday night, and I thought we had gotten somewhat past this momentary burst of jealousy. Then she left early on Sunday morning, saying something had come up even though we had plans to spend the day together. In the evening, I was going through my laundry and I saw the sweater with a big hole in the armpit, like someone had tried to literally pull it apart with their bare hands. Now it's obvious that it was Hannah's doing. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just a piece of clothing. Like, it doesn't mean I'm, like, in love with the person who gave it to me.
Right.
Or that it's associated with.
Yeah, I have clothes for my ex, and it's just kind of like, well, free clothes. That's all it is to me, you know?
Their clothes.
I'm sure it's the same for OP, but not for Hannah, I guess.
It's like, it's not like it's a sweater that's like XOXO from Haley, your
Right.
favorite girl in the universe.
She didn't make it for you. That would be different.
If
I
it was
think.
a sweater that had a big, like, Haley and OP forever XOXO on it, that would make more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you wear that sweater from your ex, and he's like, "I love this sweater. I haven't washed it because it smells like him."
Yeah,
or
exactly.
her.
It's like, that's just not
And then that's where
the
you're like,
case. He
That's
just
a little
likes it.
concerning.
yeah.
But now the idea of like it looking like it had been tried to rip apart with your bare hands, I'm just imagining like the mental breakdown that Hannah was having. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
we don't like that. I had worn that sweater on Thursday, and when I put it aside for dry cleaning, it was fine. No one else had come to my flat since then. I texted her asking about it directly. May not have been the best tactic, but I was incredibly pissed off. She was defensive from the get-go, denying that she did it, coming up with various ways that could have happened, and continuously telling me that I was an a-hole for thinking she was crazy like that. This morning, she texted me all pissed and curt and told me that yes, the provenance of the sweater bothered her, but she didn't do it. I think I need to dump her. But I've been second-guessing myself a fair bit as well. Hannah has always been really sweet and is very caring and sensitive about my feelings. I really like her, and we don't have any fundamental differences. We can genuinely have a good, fulfilling relationship, and maybe this ripping up a sweater thing was just a momentary lapse of judgment, which she is extremely embarrassed about, and hence her defensiveness. But what do you think? And we do have some relevant comments, but what do you think, Dakota and Keon?
I think I would have liked it more if she had just owned it
Yeah.
and been like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. I hate that sweater.
Right.
I hate that sweater. I don't like that girl. I don't like the sweater.
Yeah. I still would be worried.
Do you not like
But
the
at least-
sweater, or do you not like what the sweater stands for?
Exactly. Just be
Yeah,
honest.
but it just stands for a good sweater
Yeah.
It's
from
just-
OP's perspective.
It stands for comfortability.
Yeah. And I feel good in it because it fits me well. That's
And
all.
if you don't like me when I feel good, you might like me when I feel bad.
Yeah.
It is
Mm-mm.
expensive in Italian.
Exactly.
Let me have this.
Exactly.
Please let me have this.
Yeah. I feel like even her texts before is like already a red flag of her freaking
Yeah.
out at the fact that Haley's pretty. It's like, girl, well, you're pretty too. Quit it. You know?
Like, yeah, there's always going to be someone prettier than you or someone,
Yeah.
right? There's theoretically someone out there who's the prettiest person on earth.
Sure. But we do have some relevant comments. One commenter says, I can't imagine dating someone who would fly into a jealous rage and destroy my property because an old ex was attractive. That's really insane. Reagan says, my ex, who I have a 5-year-long restraining order against, destroyed a dozen items of my clothing by tearing holes in them in a jealous rage. Only backcrap effing crazy a-holes do this. Don't date anyone who does. Howie Makeham says, if she ripped a hole in your sweater because you used to date an attractive woman, I'm guessing the breakup won't be pleasant. And we do have an update of 10 days later. Do we think this is going to be a breakup update?
I think so.
Yeah, I hope so. Since it's been 10 days and the matter has been settled in a satisfactory manner, I thought I'd update you guys as to the final conclusion. I've had a few pints, so forgive the disjointedness. We got some frequently asked questions. It was a Loro Piana jumper.
A what?
A Loro Piana.
Oh,
Oh,
look
no,
at
you
that.
mean a loro piana.
Yeah. There you go. It's not repairable. I asked around. My evidence for knowing that Hannah was the culprit is circumstantial but compelling. Firstly, after I put it in a pile meant for dry cleaning, it was covered by a bunch of other stuff. When I discovered its tattered remains, it was bunched up in a ball on top of the pile. Secondly, the tear was 8 inches long, something I would have noticed quite comfortably if it had happened while I was wearing it or while I put it in the laundry pile. Thirdly, while it was torn, it was also stretched completely out of shape. The stretching would be consistent with someone grabbing 2 sides of it and pulling it apart. Most convincingly, when I confronted Hannah, aggressively I admit, she started telling me about all the alternative ways in which the damage could have happened with exact knowledge of the type of damage that my poor jumper had suffered. Yeah, that's a giveaway. I had never mentioned the type of damage, namely that it was in the armpit area along the seam, along with the stretching. That sounds like the type of damage, but maybe there were other details that she was referencing. To the lady who sent me a very heartfelt and foul-mouthed rant/plea, yes, I think people have every right to feel insecure or inadequate. Yes, people have every right to act like an idiot. Yes, I have done stupid things due to my lack of control over my emotions. And yes, I'm weird or materialistic enough to love a jumper more than the woman I'm dating. But no, I don't think she deserves my forgiveness for this slip up. I bet that commenter was the girlfriend.
Yeah, just the girlfriend in incognito.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the point. The point is that she destroyed this thing out of jealousy and then lied about it.
Yeah.
And probably knew what she was, I assume she knew how expensive it was.
Probably.
And yeah, it's just whack. It's just a
It's
whack
whack,
thing
dude.
to do.
Whack thing to do. And that is because it wasn't the insecurity, it wasn't the lack of control, and it wasn't the materialism that made me want to break up. It was the lying and deceitful manner in which she behaved afterwards.
Yeah.
It was the insanely manipulative way in which she turned herself into the victim and demanded an apology from me. And yeah, the cursing directed at me didn't help. The story is fairly dramatic as well as anticlimactic. Her curt behavior after my ill-fated confrontation lasted for 2 days. Then she called about 40 times to beg me for forgiveness. Even though I avoided the calls, I did hear the voicemails and my empathy was piqued. She also pretty much admitted to her guilt in some of those messages. But then I also came to know that preceding those calls, she had lashed out towards Haley, my ex-friend/friends with benefits, at their workplace, and that it was ugly as well as having potential to spiral negatively for her career. That made me feel really bad for Haley. She didn't deserve to be dragged into drama that she played no active role in. But you deserve to be dragged into full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime.
Yay!
And there is a little bit more to the story, but I think all of the behavior before he confronted her is something I would break up over for sure. For sure.
Yeah, it's just kind of I have opened a little door,
Yeah.
a little crack in the door of what I'm going to be getting down the line if we
Yeah.
continue with this.
Yeah.
So,
I
I
know.
said, if she would have just been like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that sweater. And I hate that girl.
Yeah.
And I hate that you wear the sweater that girl got you.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, well, so I don't like that.
Talk
but
about that.
thanks for, I guess, telling me you did this. It's not very cool.
Yeah.
I'd still
I'd
probably
still-
break up. Let's
I'd
be
still probably
honest.
break
I'd
up.
still break up with her.
But there is a little bit more to the story. The anticlimactic part is that I didn't even have to break up with Hannah. She has essentially moved in with her parents up north. She sent me a message through a mutual acquaintance stating that she realizes she has quite a few issues she needs to handle from her breakup with her ex-fiance, and that our decision to date was pretty much doomed from the start.
Okay, well, look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
She knows.
I wished her the best of luck with her journey. Another mutual acquaintance approached me, this time one between me and Haley. She sent word apologizing for her role in my relationship meltdown. I told her that there was nothing to apologize for on her end. I also asked for her forgiveness for inadvertently causing workplace dramatics, and that's that. There are some relevant comments. One person says, I looked at what a Loro Piana charges for stuff. Whoa, that's an expensive jumper. I think, therefore I think, says, for anyone wondering why it's so expensive, still, some manufacturers are known for their regular use of Mongolian cashmere, like Loro Piana. Quote, Loro Piana is one of the highest end cashmere producers in the world. Rush says they have their own herds that they control. Oh, wow. They're completely in charge of that environment, and the animals are being treated so well. The goats are really thriving. You can't just bring the goats to Italy, where Loro Piana is based, because they won't produce the same kind of cashmere as they do in Inner Mongolia, where the climate and environment is perfectly suitable for the best cashmere. And that's the end of that story.
My boyfriend exposed my mental condition to a party full of people.
Hey, that's private.
I, 20 female, have a well-controlled mental condition that I am very private about. I take 2 separate medications twice a day, every 12 hours, and for the most part, it does not affect my daily life. Luckily, I have a fantastic doctor who worked with me to experiment with medications until I found a combination that worked for me with minimal side effects. I'm just saying this to demonstrate that this is not a significant issue in my life anymore, and it is not necessary for many people to know. By the way, this comes from user, I am not crazy, okay? And if you want to submit your stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Angie.
And I'm Blurry.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't always have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, I started dating my boyfriend, 23 male, almost a year ago, and he has been great, just a little dopey. He's not a subtle person and can't keep a secret to save his life. So even though I told him before we started dating that I have this condition that is well controlled, and I don't really like people to know about it, he went ahead and told his parents. I was pissed, but told him not to tell anyone else, and we got through it. Well, last weekend we went to one of his friends' parties, and while they all got wasted, I sipped on a soda. Many of his friends were concerned that I wasn't drinking and kept saying stuff like, it's okay that you're underage. You could still have a brewski. Want me to make you a cocktail? I was starting to become uncomfortable with the comments when my boyfriend, in his infinite wisdom, decides to announce, oh, she's not drinking because it affects your medication. Okay. Well, now I'm pretty pissed, but whatever. No one really mentioned it further. Well, then a little later, my alarm goes off, and my boyfriend, who was wasted by now, literally yells to me, hey, babe, it's time to take your crazy pills.
Oh. Two mistakes there. One, making it public. Two, calling them crazy pills.
Yeah, just not really. And none of that was right at all.
No.
That was all wrong.
Yeah.
He turns to the other people and goes, yeah, she has condition and has to take pills for it. I just stared at him. I could not believe that he would do this to me. I just met some of these people, and now they all know something incredibly personal about me that is nobody's dang business. I hate the way people treat me after they find out, like I'm unhinged or damaged or something. I don't want anybody's pity. It's effing well controlled, for goodness sake. I grabbed his keys and went to the car, and he followed me asking what was wrong. You know what's wrong, buddy.
Come on, dude.
You shouted to the whole party she's taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
Which is
come on.
not the way you address your girlfriend who has mental health issues that are being well controlled by medication. I didn't say anything. I just drove us home and haven't really talked to him since, even though he's been apologizing profusely. Is this something I can even forgive him for? Should I? What should I do here? Seriously, I'm so upset and angry. He had no right. Edit, we broke up. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. No one can really tell you what you should do or what you are okay with forgiving. But honestly, I would just break up with that guy, because why would you speak on me this way?
Why?
Why would you do that other than a complete lack of respect or care?
Right.
Or you just do think I'm crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like I could get forgetting about it in a moment. If you just didn't think it was that big of a deal, like if she was just embarrassed about it and you were like, oh no, like everyone will be fine, and then you accidentally mention it, I could get that mistake, but like does not seem to be his thought process behind it, especially
Yeah.
since he called him crazy pills. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's over.
it's over, dude.
We've
It's
got
over.
some comments. Anne Rose says, if my boyfriend called out, "Time to take your crazy pills" at a party, I'd probably dump him. OP replies, "Yeah, that pissed me off to no end." And then he pulled that crap and literally told them the condition. And this is like a well-known condition that is pretty much automatically associated with being crazy. Princess Programmer says, "Wow, that was incredibly insensitive. I suffer from depression, but it's getting to the point where that's not really taboo anymore. I can't imagine if my boyfriend blurted out something super personal to a room full of people. Girl, you deserve better." OP says, "Yeah, I couldn't even believe it. Like, we have been to parties before, and I have seen him enjoy the drinky poos before, and he didn't do anything like that. I think maybe it was because some old friends of his were there, and they were really, how do I put this, immature and making really insensitive jokes. Like, these guys were loud and noisy, and I didn't like them at all. I especially didn't like how my boyfriend was acting around them." And there's an edit. Not that this is an excuse. What he did was so crappy. I'm so effing pissed at him. Red Mink 17 says, "Yeah, that makes it worse. So he turned into an a-hole at your expense just because he wanted to fit in with his a-hole friends. You are well shot of him." OP says, "I know. I was really bothered by his behavior. He knows I get anxiety in loud environments too. Before we went, he was like, 'Don't worry, everyone there is super chill.'" Yeah, right. OP says, "Sometimes he calls them my crazy pills at home and I just elbow him to shut up. But to say something like that at a party where he knows that I don't like people to know about my condition was beyond out of line. Not a real rabbit," which is exactly what a real rabbit would make their username if they wanted you to not know they were a rabbit.
We see right through you.
They say, "I'm glad you've cleared out. But I just want to say, if it was bothering you even at home, he should have cut that right out." I think it was sort of like a, shut up, like, don't
Like,
come
"Oh, you
on,
crazy
so
pills?"
get
Yeah.
out of here.
That's what I would do if Riley said that to
Yeah,
me.
it wasn't like a, "Shut up,
Stop it. Yeah.
don't do that."
Yeah.
If you want to talk about them that way, if you find it helpful, that's one thing, but it's not something he gets to decide is hilarious and impose on you. OP says, "Yeah, I'm going to put a definite end to that if it happens with the next guy. I have a sense of humor. I just don't have a sense of humor about that." Oh, I guess I was wrong. And there's an update from 11 days later. All right, I bet you it's going to be full of groveling and
Yeah.
boo-hoo.
I think
don't
so.
know why you're so mad. Please hold my hand and give me a hug and take me back. I'm your boyfriend. Ooh.
I think that's like word for word what we're about to read.
Yeah. Update 11 days later. Before I went back on Saturday to get my stuff, I texted my ex to let him know and said if he wanted to talk, that would be the time to do it. He said okay, but when we got there, he wasn't there. So we packed everything up, and I officially moved back home. He tried reaching out to me via text a couple times, but I told him I was really hurt he decided not to be there. I guess I still kind of wanted to salvage things, and that I had nothing more to say to him. I blocked him to resist temptation. Now, the exciting part of the update. I had gotten a Facebook request from one of our mutual friends who was also at the party. She told me that she thought my ex was a butt for what he did and told me that she had GAD and would unalive her boyfriend who was also there if he was ever to pull something like that. We had a long and nice conversation and she invited me out to the movies with her boyfriend and his brother. And by the way, you'd be my brother if you listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't care what it is. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to an endless waterfall of stories just like this. And there is some more story left here.
Mm-hmm.
Good job on the blocking. We recognized we
Yeah.
would be tempted. Good job on the blocking. We got the block in there.
That's your blocking.
What a little baby boy not being there when
Yeah.
he said he would be.
Good
He was
job.
afraid.
Good job.
Afraid of you.
That was very smart of you to do, and I'm glad you did it.
Yes.
Good job.
And yes, Whitney Anderson, GAD is generalized anxiety disorder, I believe. Or general or generalized? I don't know.
Means
But
the
that
same
is.
thing either way, pretty much.
That is. Okay, let's finish this story. I went to the movies, and guess what? His brother and I totally hit it off. He's pretty shy, and I didn't realize it then, but I guess they were trying to hook us up. Anyway, I'm not sure how I feel about dating a guy younger than me. He's 19 and turns 20 in December, but who knows? It hasn't been long since we broke up, though, so if we do get together, it probably won't be soon. But as of now, I have a coffee/study date with him next Friday. Smiley face.
Okay.
Thank you for everyone who commented on my original post. You may not have known it, but everyone sharing your stories really helped me and kept me strong when I wanted to text him every night. And there are some more comments here. Comment 1 is, the update is hilarious. I don't know how to feel about dating a guy younger than me. He's 19, almost 20. Girl, you're 20. It's not like you're out of college. It's literally the same with my husband. I'm 8 months older than him. There's literally nothing different except for me being a cougar for 8 months out of the year. Jokes. Comment 2, I feel this. I have schizophrenia since I was about 17. I'm 39 now. I'm very well medicated and live a perfectly normal life. You'd never know if I didn't tell you. When I was younger, I would have evaporated if someone told a whole room, but now I'm nearly 40 and I just own it. I don't go out shouting it, but if it comes up, I'll say it. It's mostly when people are talking about bad stereotypes, and I'm like, actually. I feel for this lass, and I hope she can learn to own it and not feel embarrassed for having a condition you can't control. Like I told my nibblings when they asked about my meds, Auntie's brain is just wired differently. A lot of people are. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
It's true.
Right. Comment 3 says, I take prescribed medication twice a day to stop my brain from going overdrive. My wife basically forced me to go to the doctor for it because I was passing out for getting really angry. It has helped me so much, and she has never told anyone about it, no matter how annoyed she may get with me, because she knows something should remain personal. I could never imagine her betraying my trust like that. Meanwhile, this guy thinks it's funny to do it and then acts oblivious. Wasted people speak sober thoughts. And that is the end of that story.